Hello, we are glad to have you once again on our Universal Heritage Television Niger. My name is Afam Echi. On our hand is yet another interesting package of our interview personality program, Face to Face on UHTV Niger. In this edition, we are going to feature an ex-broadcaster, somebody whose followers and admirers believe has got the talent, the experience, the voice, the language, and whatever it takes to hold his listeners glued to their radio station. I guess it's on account of this that our guest sells like hot cake among the competitors. As much as I can remember, he has had a stint with the Hot FM, the Heritage FM, the Omalecha FM, and other radio stations in the Southeast and South-South. Alex Ogbonnaya is our guest. Alex, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you. It's Alex Ogbonnaya.
Okay, thank you for Alex Ogbonnaya is our guest. Okay, thank you for that correction. If you are joining us for the first time, remember to subscribe to our YouTube platform and like our Facebook page. Alex, President Tinubu introduced what they call a Miloko. And I can tell you it is my turn this time.
Yes.
And you've been doing this to me and so many other persons.
I don't know. I can't remember sitting on this side. It's always on that side.
Okay.
Okay. It's good.
So you can now feel what it looks like.
Yeah, to be on our seat.
Yeah, you're really on the firing range.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go right away into the issues. Now, how long have you functioned as a broadcaster?
It's I think for me, I started from very early because I knew what I wanted.
Okay.
I knew what I wanted. Growing up as a young boy, two things. I wanted to play football.
Okay.
Because I played good football. But it didn't happen for reasons I just kind of started enumerating now. And then that didn't work. I said, okay, fine, let's do broadcasting because I've always loved watching people on TV, and so that informed why I went to do mass communication. Straight to your question, I started earning salary as a journalist.
Okay.
I love to use that word because at some point I was working and not earning salaries. I started earning salaries as a journalist in 2004.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is
DBN televisions then.
DBN television.
Gateway Broadcast Network in Lagos.
Okay. 2004.
Exactly.
So we can say 2004 to 2024. That's like 20 years.
Yeah.
That's a good experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are to be in the academics, you should have been a professor by now.
Hopefully.
If you have worked so hard.
Hopefully.
Okay. So what actually was your motivation, choosing broadcast journalism as against any other thing? What motivated you into this stuff?
Like I said, I think my dad played a role, though he didn't know, because my dad I'm using was because he's no more alive. Okay. My dad was an avid listener of radio, and I kind of, I kind of caught the bug, and when Ray Park came up, Ray Park 100.5. Listening to them, and even right from, because I started doing this job, I started earning salary in 2004, but I started working for a radio station sometime 1990, when I was still in higher institution, 98, 99, thereabout, because of the love I have for the job, listening to people like, what's his name again? This is my guy I like so much. Ray Park back then.
Okay.
Ray Park. What's his name? Dennis the Menace.
Okay.
Dennis the Menace. Okay. Of course, Kenny Ogungbe. What's his name again? So many. I don't remember the names now. Yeah. So I kind of the law.
So they played the role of a model, role model for you.
True. And then of course, my father was the space because he was always listening to, he never misses listening to Network News, FRCN, and all the radio stations. So
that's where you got the influence.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you actually take us through your career path, telling us, even though you've mentioned part of it, telling us where you have worked, the places you have worked so far, your training experiences, and every other thing that you have had to do with on this profession?
Yeah, like I said, I started with DBN in 2004.
Okay.
It was shortly because I was, what happened now, I think I got another offer. From DBN I left, I went to Channels, no not Channels, I went to Voice of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, Voice of Nigeria.
That's a federal government outfit.
Exactly, Voice of Nigeria at Obalende. I think that was after I finished youth service.
Okay.
After I finished, that was the first job I got. Then from Voice of Nigeria I left for Channels Television. I worked from Channels TV. I went to Silverbird 92.7.
Okay.
About in Lagos. And Silverbird 92.7. From there I went to Kogi State. Worked with Senator Tunde Ogbonnaya.
Tunde Ogbonnaya, the former senator.
Yes.
Okay.
In Kogi State, Grace FM and CCTV. And then from Kogi State I came down here to Wiri, where I work with Hot FM. And then somehow from Hot FM I have crisscrossed around the southeast. Lately. Yeah. I left at some point. I went to Reach FM. I went to Port Harcourt to work with Nigeria Info.
Okay.
Nigeria Info, Cool FM. I came back to Hot FM again. And then, like you mentioned, I worked briefly with Omalicha FM, and I went to Delta State where I worked with Quest Television and Quest Radio, and then of course that's been the journey. That's
quite a whole lot. Okay, drawing from your experience, how would you describe broadcasting in Nigeria? And maybe looking at providing a guide for those young ones who may want to make a career out of it. The broadcast experience what is broadcasting like in Nigeria?
Initially it was sweet, it was sweet.
Initially
it was sweet. But now it's an all-comers affair, and every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to be in it, and that's basically why it has nosedived, if you permit me to use that word. It was sweet because, personally, I have the love for it. It's something I wanted to do.
Yeah, you have passion for it.
I told someone if I'm say somehow like a Davido, I come from a very wealthy home, rich home. I have good money. Yeah. I will work for free. I will work for any radio station for free, or station for free.
Really?
Yes, that's the love I have for the job. If I look and I have millions and
to take care
of my needs, I work for any station for free. And I'm saying it again, for free, because of the love I have for it. Unfortunately, the love is still there though, but unfortunately the profession itself is no longer as sweet as it used to. I said earlier, it's been an all-comers affair. Every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to own a radio station. Every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to be a presenter on radio or on television. And it's even baffling, even government-owned stations, even the world's corporates, the voices you hear on government-owned stations, like the FRCN and even the state government stations, you will be shocked. Horrible voices, horrible, news, whatever it is, programs. So everything is, like my friend would say, has gone staccato, if you can say it. Has gone staccato. But, the truth is, there's still good people there. Okay. For those who want to, who want to, or who are already new in the profession, just be yourself. Some of them want to start to imitate, want to speak like somebody. Yeah. They want to speak like Alex, want to speak like anybody you know. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to
let it come naturally.
Let it come naturally. Don't try to imitate any Dan Foster or any Keke Ogungbe or any Adora or Nyechere. No, just be yourself. And as much as possible too, you have to upgrade yourself. By that I mean read. If you happen to go to school to upgrade yourself, do that. It will help you too. And I think that's the much I can enumerate.
Okay, talk about that. Just like you said, let me still dwell with you on the issue. There are too many radio stations.
True.
Yeah. What do you think is the driving force, for people to want to establish radio stations, and what are the gains, what are the pains, the benefits, and we derive from these things, and because it seems just like the picture you painted. You said initially it was nice, it was okay. But it's like, too much of salt in the broth, makes it so. Yeah. So what is it that is pushing people to want to own a radio station? Is it prestige? Is it power? Is it
on the part of those who are opening radio station? Is selfishness.
Selfishness.
Yes, it's selfish. Especially if they are into politics.
Yeah.
Want to use it to maybe probably blow their trumpets or protect themselves and all of that. And they think that within a short while they'll start making money. The advisors didn't advise them well. The impression is you open a radio station, there's so much money, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, you make so much money. And when they don't see the money, they start struggling. It's capital intensive, so expensive. And that's why you have so many radio stations. I don't think there's any station in Imo State that pays salary.
Really?
Yes.
No states, no?
I don't think there's any radio station in Imo State that they're all owing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They're all owing, and when I mean owing, not maybe this is August, today is August 21st.
Yes.
And maybe they've not paid for July. No. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, they've not paid. So I stand to be corrected. So that's the problem. These guys have hands off this station because they're not making money. It's not easy to run a radio station these days. Diesel is now God knows how much, and most of these stations are powered by diesel, and some of them don't even stay 24 hours again, or 12 midnight, 8 o'clock they shut down, 9 o'clock they shut down, at most 10 o'clock they shut down because they spend so much money on diesel. So they've hands off. Selfishness on their part because they think there's so much money, and for those who are politicians, they want you to launder their image, protect themselves, and even control the editors, for those who are in the newsroom and all of that, because you have to be careful. If you're a politician, you're always in the news.
Yeah.
Good, you're always in the news. And when something comes up that is not in your favor, your station can't carry it. So all of these that's why I said selfish reasons. So, and it's not all go, it doesn't all go well for the industry.
Now, what you said now, is it a typical is it restricted to Imo State, or it has a nationwide effect generally?
Fair, not only to Imo State, it cuts across. It cuts across. But I think, I think Imo it's really hard hit, or worse hit if you know the right word to use, because like when I started the job newly, I started in Lagos. It was smooth sailing. Even when I came down to it was smooth sailing, and all of a sudden things went haywire. And I think generally most radio stations there are only a handful of radio station, TV stations in Nigeria that pay salary. Yes, a handful. I can count them with just one. A handful that pay salary as at when due, and then the rest, they struggle to pay. Some don't even pay at all.
That can be discouraging.
It can be discouraging. It can be very discouraging.
For those who want to make a career in...
You hear people's voices. I'm married to this place. The bus I entered, the driver was playing one of the radio stations, and you hear the voices. I can bet you for 3, 4, 5 months they've not paid them salary. And you hear them, they're cheerful, they're happy, they make you happy at home, play good music, give you good information, give you good news items, and yet inside they're not happy, they're empty. It's really, really appalling. I really frown at that. It's not a good thing at all.
Okay. And now let me come to you, something personal about you. People talk about you in one direction. And I've had 1 or 2 persons, coincidentally said, Alex is too jumpy. He was listening to you, and he never heard you moved from one station to the other. I said, this guy has moved again. So, and he didn't know that you are my friend. So he now said, so when he was making some kind of remark, I said, job mobility is allowed in Nigeria. And I reminded them that there was a time bankers moved from one point, you see him in this bank, tomorrow you see him in another bank. And the same thing goes on with footballers. So people are free to apply their skills. And but in your own case, it's like you are too jumpy.
I overdid mine, right? The thing is,
So what makes you go from one station to another?
Yeah, I've answered that question a lot of time. But the thing is...
Okay, so other persons have confronted you?
Even my mom.
Really?
my mom, who happens to be my number one fan, she has. Yeah, but the thing is, I always tell them, the truth is, I have family to feed, and if you're not paying me and I get an offer somewhere, I move. The bottom line is the thing is, the difference between bankers moving and me and us in this Russian moving is, in the case of bankers, they get paid regularly, but maybe they get a bigger pay elsewhere.
Okay, yes, that attracts them off.
And maybe a higher position.
Okay.
So they move.
Yeah.
But to a large extent, in my own case, it's not a case of I am getting paid, I'm going to where I'm going to get any bigger. No, I'm not even getting paid at all. You can't be owing me salary for 3, 4, 5 months, and you want me to be comfortable. No, I won't be comfortable. At the early stage of my profession, of my career, like I did say I work with DBN.
DBN, yes.
Then I was still in school. So my first real job was Voice of Nigeria, and then Hot FM, channels came.
Okay.
That one was like for the tube and the visuals. I needed to try television. I've not done television. Okay, yeah, I did television with DBN, but not. I wasn't really doing. I was just a backroom staff, kind of like a reporter and all of that. So Hot FM came. It was too hard for me to resist. Channels, please. It was too hard for me to resist it. So I went, and then Silverbird came, not because I wasn't getting salaries at channels, they were paying regularly, but Silverbird came with a higher pay. I went, and then
Silverbird, that's red. No, Silverbird
in Lagos.
Okay.
Lagos. That's Ben Bruce.
Ben Bruce.
And then from there, Silverbird became a bit shaky, a bit unpredictable. You come to work today, and your colleague who's sitting next to you is gone. They've asked him to leave. You go the following day. You come. Has got.
It is still fair in
it became a bit unpredictable. So when the offer came for me to go to Kogi State to work with Senator Tunde Ogbonnaya, I jumped at it. When I was for me to leave Lagos, I was already getting fed up of Lagos. So but when I came to Owerri, the whole story changed. It was here in Owerri. Initially, it was good. Hot FM was good, rosy, sweet, beautiful, wonderful colleagues. I worked with them. All of a sudden, one bad decision from the owner of the station, and everything just went haywire. And started owing for months, as in months. And of course, let me tell you what happened when I left Hot FM. I left Hot FM for Reach FM, and there was this guy who was bringing jobs, jingle for us, my clients, Hot FM. So I called him up. I said, "Guy, I don't know. I'm no more with Hot FM. I'm with Reach FM. I don't know if you want to work with." And the guy got mad. He wasn't even mad that I left Hot FM. He was mad that I went to Reach FM. I said, "Why would you go to Reach FM?" Of course, the whole Rochas thing and all of that. Why would you go to Reach FM? You don't want to work for Rochas and all of that. I said, "I'm not working for Rochas. I'm not working." Yes, I made him. I think at the end of the day, why I'm happy is because I made him realize why I went to Hot FM. I told him, "Look, bros, if you work in a place where after 4 months, nobody gives you 1 naira, and you have a wife, 2 children, and
yourself to take care of,
and I have a cousin of mine who I was training in school. What would you do?" He was an IMT then. He has now graduated. What will you do? 4 months, no salary, and I think he saw reasoning with me. So I don't care who owns. I never cared who owned Reach FM. That's not my business. I worked there, and throughout the period I worked with Reach FM, I must give it to them. But then I moved again to Nigeria Info because, of course, Nigeria Info is way high up there in terms of radio, broadcast, whatever it is. So when I offer came, exactly. So I left and I went to. So I think to a large extent, mine was salary issues. Most of the stations don't pay. And when the station comes and then promises to pay you, initially they will pay you first month, second month, third month, and then all of a sudden they just start misbehaving again and start owing you. But again, that is life. If you get another offer somewhere, you move. I am a strong advocate for people to move. If you're not happy here and you need to get your happiness somewhere else, go catch it there and enjoy yourself and enjoy the work.
Okay, so right now, this is one of the challenges that is confronting broadcasting in Nigeria.
True.
So what other things, what other issues confront broadcasting and broadcasters?
No, I think in terms of maybe on the part of the owners,
yes,
we've seen the way the economy is at the moment. They spend so much money to run the place. I really don't envy them.
Yeah.
The price of diesel has gone so high up. Even the equipment too, and a lot of them suffer from natural disaster, like maybe thunder. When the rainy season now, so anytime the thunder strikes, it spoils one or two equipments there and all of that. So it's really worrying, and that's why before they jump into the industry, they have first of all count the cost. A lot of them didn't count the cost first. Somebody just told them, there's so much money to be made. And of course, to also launder your image and protect yourself, you just jump into it. I know someone who started it, bought license, and maybe sat down to do calculation and backed out and sold his license to somebody else. And the person who even bought the license hasn't even started anything yet, because I facilitated the sale. The sale. The person who bought it hasn't even started anything yet. I guess maybe he might wake up one morning
and also
sell it because it's so expensive, and government is not even doing them any good. NBC is hitting them hard, taxing them, and sometimes too maybe if they run foul of the broadcast code. I think that too is also an issue.
I intend to ask you that question next. To talk about regulations. Now, the NBC, do you find them? Can you give them kudos in any way, or do you find them compromised, ineffective, or very, very hard?
I won't give them kudos at all. You see, this is why I'm saying so. They're a bit biased, because yes, they're not. The NBC guys will. Government-owned stations are allowed to do anything they like.
Okay.
Government-owned stations are allowed to do anything they like, and then privately run stations, the slightest mistake, boom, they hit them.
So why is it so?
Because of course, I don't know. They're of the same level. Your private station, NBC is also government. I mean, government station, NBC is also government-owned. They really do not, because look at, for example. I can't remember very well. Maybe for some reasons I may not even want to say. I've heard during election period.
Okay.
During election period, you hear somebody say certain things on government-run stations, and nothing happens.
No
to
sanction.
them. Nothing happens to them. Try it. When I was head of station at FM, getting letters every now and then.
From NBC.
From NBC, yes. Some warning and all of that. The same things happen, in other, especially government stations. Nothing is done. Even though they'll give the impression that they are also sanctioning them, but I don't think they're sanctioning them like they're sanctioning the privately run radio stations.
Wow. Maybe they're afraid of competition or something to run them, because this is a government regulator. Okay. Taking sides, closing its eyes when government stations, and then maybe. Just to keep giving knocks so that these people whipping them into line.
So that there won't be. For me, there's really no competition, because, permit me, the government stations they're dead.
Really?
They're dead. If you listen to government-run radio stations, you marvel, you'll be shocked compared to how it was. I grew up listening to Veronica Osawere, Ndidi Osaka, Mani Onumonu.
Radio Nigeria then.
These are guys who trained me, because I went to FRCN training school at some point.
Okay.
Veronica, may God rest her soul, she's late now. She taught me, Rime taught me, Ndidi Osaka taught me, Rime Feti also taught me. So compare those guys and what we're hearing today on FRCN, you will weep.
Even right here in Imo State, our IBC.
Let's not go to Imo State.
Because I heard they now borrow transmitter or hire. I don't know some of these equipment.
Let's not go to Imo
State. In Imo State, is
Heartland.
Yes.
I don't know if it's proper to mention the station, but Heartland in Imo. I was into Heartland FM News many months back. But I stopped listening to them. The voice I heard on that, I think 6 a.m. news in the morning, it was horrible. I had to make calls. Say, what is happening? Horrible voice. Horrible news presentation, everything horrible on Heartland FRCN station. It's really appalling. And the names I mentioned earlier, the Veronica Osawere and these are people who pass through that FRCN.
Let me take you on this again. What is happening to training, mentorship? Because these people you talk about, some of them are still alive.
True.
You know, so why do you think the government or those in the private sector are not utilizing? Like now, you now. I think I mentioned earlier on that if you were to be in the academics, you would have reached the peak of your career.
Right.
You know, somebody will want somebody like you to begin to groom talent. You know, so what is happening about that? If the government is not taking the initiative, what about you? Is this something you cannot handle or get people to sponsor? Training, what is happening about? Because these things you are talking about shows that the employees, the staffers, are not being trained.
Yes, to a large extent, I agree. They're not being trained. Fortunately, we have, there used to be, okay, I think we have one in Enugu, the training school in Enugu.
Okay.
I think, trying to remember the name, I think one of those running the training school recently, what's his name?
Government or privately?
Privately run. There's one in Lagos, the FRC Training School.
Okay.
I think
that's
what they mimicked and brought it here in Enugu for those of us here in the southeast.
Okay.
I'm privileged to attend training, even in Lagos, and then the one here in Enugu. And if they can, the thing is, it involves money. I don't know if these stations are ready to send their personnel down there for training, because they have to pay for it. I feel it is worth trying. Yeah. But again, if I have the money to run a radio station, I definitely will send my staff to such places to equip them.
Or organize in-house training.
Organize in-house training. Bring these people down here and let them put them through and all of that. That's what I think is necessary. But only very few stations do that. Very few stations do that, and the rest don't see it as anything that is necessary or important for them to do. So long as because like I said, it will involve them spending money. They want to try not to spend so much money because of course the economic crunch and all of that.
Okay, Alex, we have had quite a while, spent quite a good time, and before I let you go, let me ask this one more question.
Okay.
Now, if you have all the powers that you require, what kind of specific reforms would you want to bring into the broadcast industry? What would you like to initiative that can bring a sweeping change?
I'll reduce the number of. I'll try and possible to reduce the number of radio stations that we currently have. They're too many. Yes, they're too many. The serious ones will remain. There's so many funny radio stations. Let me, I have moved around a lot. There's so many funny radio stations. Those ones will go.
That are not worth their existence.
Yes, those ones will go. I'm telling you, they will go. I've seen things.
Would that not be affecting somebody's freedom to do business?
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree, but the way you just keep them out. But I don't want to. I can give you their names like this, but I don't want to mention their names. Yeah. So those I'll try and do that, and then I will enforce. I will ensure that state radio station owners, TV station owners, pay their workers regularly. Excuse me. Okay. Pay their workers regularly. That will also mean that even some serious radio stations might even be scrapped. We'll use that as a yardstick.
Okay.
Those funny-looking ones, definitely those ones will go. And then the ones that, in your eye, in my eye, and everybody's eyes look serious, but they are defaulting in that area. You see, abroad, you definitely must pay your workers.
Yeah.
Presently, I happen to work for someone who is based abroad. Look, he pays me as at when due. Okay. Look, I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, fine. Just go ahead and say it. He pays me twice a month.
Really?
He pays me twice a month.
Yeah.
Let's say he pays me on the 1st of January.
Yeah.
Or 1st of September now.
Yeah.
This is September. I will wake up I'll wake up September 1. I'll sleep 30th of August. Wake up in the morning. I'll see alerts.
You see?
That's how it's been for many months now.
It's encouraging.
That's how it is. I wake up. I see alerts. That's how it is, and I just acknowledge.
Yeah.
Same, thanks. That's how we've been running. They don't do it here. I will ensure that when you employ your workers, make sure you pay them. Otherwise, you'll be frozen out of circulation. So that's one of the reforms I will, bring about. And of course, too, if I have the power, I'll also try and make sure that NBC thank God, I think court has ruled that NBC has no right to sanction media houses. Even I don't know how far that case is, if it's come to the Supreme Court, I don't know. But the last I heard, he has ruled in favor of some of these TV stations in China, and the rest took them to court. I'll make sure NBC, I'll reduce their powers to the best minimum and introduce policies that will be a bit friendly.
Allow people
because they're spending so much. That's why it's definitely difficult to pay workers. Once you do all of that, you see, everywhere will just, like my mom would say, we're going silly with it.
That's okay. That's Alex. This is where we anchor the program. Thank you for coming to.
I appreciate. Like I said, it's strange. I'm on this side, but it's
thank you. I hope if we have need to get you back to this place again, you will oblige us.
Why not? I will.
Okay. Viewers, this is where we draw the curtain, and we've been listening to Alex Ogbonnaya, an broadcaster. He has told us that selfishness is the motivating factor why many people want to run radio stations. And he said no radio station, sadly, is paying workers. That is very unfortunate. And he has let us know that if he has all the powers, he will regulate the number of radio stations in existence. And NBC, he mentioned, is biased, wielding the hammer against private-owned radio stations, while they turn their eyes, close their eyes against some of the ills perpetrated by government-owned stations. This is where we round it off. And please continue to stay with Universal Heritage Television Niger. My name again is Afam. Thank you for being part of the program.